Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Code for episode 253 of On the Backs of Gods. I'm your DM, Jillian. We have our players here today. Same as always, we have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. Let's go ahead and jump into things. Do a little recap. You all are currently technically in the Underdark. You have acquired a relic, a sword that is a bit nasty if it is drawn from its sheath, cannot be resheathed until a life is taken. You need this so that you can absorb its power, so that you can be strong and ready for another ritual in which you will basically create a new god. That is the intent. Uh, you all have all the pieces for at least that first part. You got the sword into the room you wanted in to conduct the first ritual. Nyx ends up possessed by the sword, which seems to be on overdrive because it does not have a sheath anymore. Keld removes her from the space, and a comedy of errors occurs behind a door, lost to time, only for a couple of us to ever know, unless somebody feels like talking about it at some point. But eventually, it does go quiet in there, um, and and then the sound of Keld and Nyx trying to open the door, which is held shut by brambles, comes into play. Roshan has set up a wax statue of himself, and the sword hangs above it for the ritual. Some of the things Nyx was yelling were including Roshan's going to kill himself, and he's going to stab himself. It's all bad. For which Fen and Nana are like, now maybe as they take in the scene, they're like,
I mean,
maybe Nyx is onto something.
eh,
But
he
you
might
have
stab
to
a wax figure of himself. Does that count as stabbing himself? I don't know.
but Roshan uses silence as he has done in most occasions to speak to the shadows. Um, he, in this moment, has a bit of a love triangle per se with a mentor triangle with one of the shadows being a piece of Odin and another one being a piece of Ave, which was Roshan's father figure and the reason they're on this journey in the first place. That piece is now referred to as the Keeper. And the Keeper has started to have doubts about all of these rituals and the lives that are being taken to accomplish it, and is like, I'd rather do good elsewhere. And if I am going to do this ritual, I'm not doing it with a god because I hate the gods. And Odin's like, I'm willing to do honestly whatever it takes in this moment to live, and I will agree to the ritual as is, and I can work with that, and that is fine by me. And the keeper says, it is not fine by me. Um, Roshan does an emotional plea, and it does not seem to sway the keeper in this moment. The keeper seems very like confident based on past experiences that agreeing to work with any of the shadows that are associated with the gods is a bad choice. And after Roshan gives their final plea, the keeper, um, uh, who knows if they were going to agree to it, but sees behind Roshan that perhaps, maybe, Odin made a move for the sword that was going to be used in the ritual. And the keeper is like, maybe you need more time to think, Roshan, and you don't worry about it. I'll deal with this problem. So I'll deal with this. You go think for a minute. And basically shunts Roshan and team into a library. And this library is the contents of Ave's memories, a place that the keeper had been for quite some time. And this is when all of this doubt started, was when they began reading from the library. Um, the keeper ends up also changing form as many of the other shadows had done and seems to have turned into a large towering creature with like an arched back, um, cloak, face covered, holding a large staff with a lantern at the end. And while you all traverse the library, uh, it seems the keeper is looking for Odin to deal with that problem and have it settled. So Roshan doesn't have to worry about it. And nobody has to worry about it. Um, but you all go through Ave's memories. It seems the keeper had went through and bookmarked moments that they thought were of some importance, or perhaps things they wanted to go back to. You don't know. But it basically goes from his childhood, of feeling this obligation to speak to Gulveig, who died during his birth, this goddess, and he is the only remaining piece of her. Um, and he does his best to communicate with her. Kind of comes to the conclusion that she is dead, and then begins performing miracles, saying that they are Gulveig's will, and basically steps in as the goddess. Um, as a young man, he tires of this, and the intent is to leave town and explore and adventure and see the world. And he gets a lot of pushback from his father, the chief. And the last thing his father ever says to him is, "You are a disappointment." But Ave goes off and adventures, and ends up meeting some friends, some you recognize, some you don't, um, and gets to kind of have that, in quotes, normal adventuring life, um, and seems to also be intent on finding information, knowledge. He doesn't know exactly what he's looking for, but it feels like he's looking for something. Eventually finds a nasty little book. Um, and it seems that this book makes some appearances again in later books of things he's taking notes from. Is a book in the layer of an entity referred to as the consumer. So take that as you will. Eventually, Ave returns home and he hears of the death of his father, goes back and ends up becoming the chief, taking his place. Uh, Currently, there was a war in the West, and the East was going to join in. And Ave, it was said that Ave, through peace talks and conversation, solved the war, like stopped it from continuing, was able to talk to these chiefs that were intent on not being ruled over by a king. And it seems that Ave actually just threatened this guy and said he would blow up their town. And that brought him to heel. And peace talks were drawn up, and there was peace. And then Ave worked on basically creating this ritual, knowing that something needed to be done because corruption was worsening in the West. That's basically the gist of the things that I think you guys covered, without me going back and just reading all of them again. Without me doing that, unless that's what you guys want. But currently, you stand before another book, a larger book. This one is filled with red bookmarks just coming out of near every page. It's a much larger book than the others. It resembles in appearance the ledger that he had taken from the temple, in quotes, that you had seen him take the book from. So this one resembles that, and the journal that Roshan holds. It's sort of a combination of both books, but on a much larger scale, sitting before you. Off in the distance, you can see the keeper, the towering entity, the light of the lantern swaying back and forth as it looks for Odin. And that's where we're at.
All right. Well, there's a sizable tome before us and much still to look through, I think, if we're going to figure out exactly what it is the Keeper wants us to see. Shall we go back over anything? I
I will inform you, just as me, Jillian. After you look at this tome, you are welcome to go back and look at other things if you would like to.
Okay.
I will not be like, sorry, you went too far in the video game, you can't turn back. Um,
Haha! You passed the
Yeah.
no turn back zone.
Sorry about that. No, you are able to go back
Okay.
and look at things after this if you would like to use that time.
Not playing on New Vegas rules. Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we could just
Uh,
read this one first and make sure we're not doubling up on something that's
it's a
already in
good
this
point.
book.
It's a good point. We're here anyway, and whatever distance and time means here, then
Feels like we were kind of led to this, so
might as well have a look at what it has to say. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think Roshan, whose hands are still shaking, but hasn't been able to look away from this book, will open it to the first bookmark.
Okay.
Nana's at his elbow.
You open the book. Immediately, the energy is palpable. There's something different about it. The space feels heavy. There are crackling runes at the edges of your vision, kind of snapping orange and red, black at the edges. You can see Ave pacing a room, glancing at something out of view and looking away. I should get rid of it. Nothing good can come from it. And you hear, don't see, but just hear Dagwood's voice. There's only one way to know. And then it is a flurry of pages, like a flock of startled birds. They are marred black with ink and charcoal and obscure your vision as if scattering and moving across you. You can get glimpses of things, rituals of blood magics. Not just the ritual that Ave was preparing for, but many dark spells and musings. The topics that you see flash before you moving quickly: power, knowledge, summonings, subjugation, and godhood. It's as if you read along with Ave as he moves through these pages. You can feel the tension growing within him. Um, you can see that Ave has these thoughts of ripping the book to pieces, tearing it apart with his teeth, tossing it into the fire. Almost. But he can't make himself do it. There is an intoxication that comes with this magnitude of information. It's as if there is some sort of miasma that exudes from this book. And it scares him. And then that fear starts fading. Before he is too far gone, though, he reaches out to Dagwood for help. Now, every time he opens the book, Dagwood is there. A sounding board, a grounding presence, a neutral party in this standoff between Ave and the contents of this journal. They read and they speak on their findings, and there are pages he will never read again. Tells himself he will never read again. He has nightmares. There's bile in his throat. There are nights where Dagwood has to close the book for him, and there are nights where she turns to the next page. Ascension is a frequently visited chapter. And it wasn't just by Ave. There are thumbprint smeared ink and soft creases on the pages. There's an easy bend in the book's spine for this chapter. They refer to the previous owner as the consumer, and the consumer writes their own passages. These are their own rituals, their own thoughts. The consumer states, souls by immeasurable score are needed, held in stasis to be brought forth at the time of ascension. Souls that left their flesh when destined will not do. Souls must be brought to heel screaming, as would followers of any god, prostrate and rapturous cries for God. This is equivalent to a celestial born god's following, a replacement for blind devotion. And it flips pages. Die to be reborn, to a chorus of wailing souls. The pages move around you. The closest a man could ever get to divinity. A mortal cannot wield godhood in its entirety. Madness would riddle their minds, the void would rend their flesh, the soul destroyed under the weight of a might it was never meant to wield. That's why the weakness of mortality must be shed. The flesh must be abandoned, the soul must be preemptively splintered. The pages move. Store the remains of yourself in an object of importance or a simple river stone. Flashes. The phylactery holds a piece of your flesh and the remaining splinter of your soul. A reminder of your once life. A reminder to stay vigilant. This seemingly inconsequential object is the only tether to the realm of the living for you and your god corpse. Revel, 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 revel. Ave slams the book closed, sweating and pale. You can hear the words echoing in your ears. Revel, revel, revel. There has to be another way, Ave says. And there are years of looking for an alternative to any piece of this morbid ritual. And Ave finds small joys, finding flaws in the spell work, things that are wrong. Perhaps he is wrong, that evil can't be the only way to accomplish a righteous goal. But it is. That's why threats of violence worked in the West and brought peace. And that makes Ave's resolve waver. His belief in what good actually is wavers. Dagwood speaks up. In the grand scheme, more souls will be saved. It just has a cost. And Ave responds, don't call them that. He called them souls to objectify. They're people. And she responds, my opinion still stands. Morally, I am right. And he replies, morally, in a vacuum. No, she says. You are adding emotions to this. If you do that, and he cuts her off, I know. And there is a pause. Doubt. That is immediately crushed under the weight of responsibility. If it's too much, Ave, I can do the hard parts. Keep your conscience clean. And they push forwards. One saving grace Ave feels of this damning nightmare, a small loophole, a way to avoid taking souls directly, is by being the first domino leading towards an untimely death. We can save the people of Galunder. Give me enough time to ascend and gather power sources through the outcome. Even just a small shift in corruption. It's practical and emotional. Gather power, save his people. Perhaps there is a way to use less life force, another power source, a way to use less souls. Ave sits alone in his office, face in his hands. Opportunity, power, potential. He pores over the sketches of Roshan and Rosetta's markings. They haven't reached their full potential, not yet. Through magical intervention, they can become more powerful. Batteries, as intended. Ave tries to take solace in the fact that he waited until they were adults who could decide for themselves. 2 living worshippers to replace thousands. And you can feel he finds no comfort in this. But this isn't about him or them. And you can see that's a mantra that he carries with him through this. It's not about him. It's about everyone else. Everyone that comes after. You see a flash of him on his knees, face pressed against Hertha's stomach, her face soft, hands in his hair, as he holds her pregnant belly. You watch as the runes slowly begin to move inwards, making the scene smaller and more claustrophobic. You see a sketch of Ave, perhaps one he drew. Runes upon his limbs and forehead, runes appearing that you did not see when you transported his body. Drawn in red ink, his skin is covered, his eyes are blackened with ink. There are items placed around him, a bracelet of hair, an object of importance, an object of minimal importance, and a gem. Offerings from his first followers. You watch as letters slowly begin to rain from the sky. Letters from Rose. I had a setback at the library. I have to abandon that avenue. I'm sorry. Another one falls. I wouldn't call the kiln skilled in magical prowess. He is a master of technological advancement. The skull is a marvel moving at a brisk pace towards a future I cannot begin to imagine. The world will be a new thing in 20 years' time, if that. The kiln is hard to read. He's either a saint or a dictator in waiting. There's only one way to know. Wait. Or leave nothing to chance. A second one falls. I find the things I must accomplish alone daunting, but not impossible. And another. He worries you will misuse your piece of godhood. And another. He calls your drive monstrous ambition. And another. You have his attention. I worry if I push too hard, his paranoia will become unwieldy and make him dangerous. And the last one. I have done what I can. We will arrive at the valley in 1 month's time. He is now convinced the only way to kill you is to use Gungnir. And you can see the spear before you, shining an opulent gold. A power source in an endless hunt for power. A jumpstart, a pulse through a dead heart, a way to bolster the pearls and safeguards that he had put in place and store some of that power away for later. Simple, but vital. Avoiding what corruption could do if it claimed him, something to give him an extra layer of protection. He has nightmares. Nightmares of being a wandering corpse with the horrible strength of Golveg, something that haunts the valley for the rest of time. But time is running out. Corruption worsens with each passing day, and Ave moves through the rest of his days like a funeral procession. Each task that leads him towards rebirth, each piece falling into place, to the mountain, to darkness. And the runes grow brighter, and you can feel your stomach turn. This is not a memory, but a dream, a vision, a hope. This is something Ave did not get to see, but envisioned. Before you, you see the familiar ritual, at least to Roshan, one that sat on top of a table, one that Rose had showed him, something that needed a power source. There you see the silhouette of the twins, hand in hand, their runic markings turn to wings, and they vanish, embracing, a flare of magic consuming them, and you watch as a figure begins to take shape, as a second circle of incantations moves around the figure. Souls are pulled into the runes and ripped apart to power the ritual. Beyond the souls, another power source is needed. They are not enough. Something to connect the souls of the unknown and the souls of the known. Something to store them until they are needed. You hear Dagwood's voice. Trust us. All of the magic circles encase the entity in the center. All of these power sources screaming from exhaustion. The crest, the chief's crest, sits atop his breast. And then belief from the devout. Wings sprout from the entity's back. A blinding gold magic emanates from them. A new god here to serve the people of Midgard where their previous gods had failed. A god with the soul of a mortal man, even if it's just a splinter of that soul. An opportunity to care and provide and protect where the gods before him had failed. And you watch as the runes crackle and shift at the edge of your vision as the memory begins to fade from view. They hang in the air, not fully gone, ever present now in this space, but the memory comes to a halt.
Is that what we're working for? Is that the idea?
As far as any of us understands it.
Why would we want to accomplish this?
I know the corruption is bad. But there has to be another way to address it. I don't...
Well, we have already seen another way to address it.
One, yes. I don't know whether or not I want to believe that the kiln and his inventions can succeed where Ave did not. Perhaps it will succeed in doing what it is intended to do. My concern is the power that such influence then grants. Is that less than that of a god? Certainly. But enough reach, enough of a persuasive advantage in terms of being able to keep a community safe, provide protection. That could be something that could move kingdoms, kings.
I mean, look back at what we just witnessed of Laminda, what Ave did to achieve peace without godhood. How will he wield godhood, and what bit of Ave remains in that? And he'll just kind of gesture up at the massive thing swinging a lantern around. I see nothing of the Ave we knew in that, and I don't like what I've seen of the Ave we never knew.
I'm concerned that even if we do move forward with this, even if we do without the Keeper, even if we move forward with Odin, we put Odin back in charge as head god of Midgard once again, and what safeguards do we have? What checks and balances to that power do we have?
I don't think that Odin is preferable to the Keeper in any way, in my opinion. And what gods we've met have been terrifying in every aspect.
It kind of seems that we're coming to either choosing godhood or trusting in man. So,
Near as I can tell, the gods had it out 1,000 years ago. Perhaps over this exact conversation, who knows? They had their go. And if it takes 1,000 lives to build one new god, it's not worth it. It's not, I'm sorry.
If it takes one life to build another of those, it's not worth it.
Whatever we can do, I want us to do. I want the world to be better. I think that we can see that whatever Ave's intent brought forth, his intent was protection. Acquisition of power too, but protection.
can Caleb get a look at Roshan right now?
Honestly, I was about to like be in and be like, tell me what's going on, bestie.
Yeah.
So by all means.
We're all staring.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
Casually.
I think he is looking at the book frustrated.
Hmm.
Not looking at his friends.
Hmm.
Roshan, I know this is a thorny problem. I know you're frustrated, but please talk to us. You waited this long. Can you please talk to us now?
About what?
What are we going to do? What is all of this for? Why are we here, and what do you mean to do?
What's your plan?
I mean to finish this.
You want to make a god. You want to kill yourself and Rose and make a god.
No,
Okay,
that hasn't been the
walk it
plan
back
for a
then.
while
Tell
now.
me. All right. So what would I know?
I don't know. What haven't I told you? I made Nyx a promise that I wouldn't kill myself as part of this. And seeing that, I desperately want to. I want to be a part of this. But I've made a promise, and I won't break it.
Right. Okay.
But I think it is foolish to see the dominoes before us, and if we do not push them, they do not fall. And for all of the things that have been broken because of it, they become meaningless.
I don't think we need to relegate this to a game of dominoes. I don't think we need to assume that there is something that will collapse. I don't think we need to assume that what's been set before us must need be the path. That's all. I think.
Of course, it doesn't need to be done, but we have the power to do it.
Have the power to do it is grand, Roshan. Should we? What world will that make? As of right now, the way that, as near as I can tell, this is going to pan out, assuming the Keeper has the Keeper's way, Odin will be kaput. We'll have the Keeper to work with for this ritual, and if it is the Keeper that is then empowered and made godly, we have a line to his once humanity. And I don't know what the nature of that line is. And I don't know what that amount of power will do to that aspect of my brother.
Don't even know what aspect it is that survives at this point.
Well, I can tell you that it is one that cares for us.
I can tell that.
Does it
And
care
I
for us
believe it.
because it's desperate that we're the only thing that can bring its goals to fruition?
It
No.
does not seem to be, no, considering it was saying not that long ago that it would much rather not go through with this ritual that Ave died for. It seems like some post-mortem regrets. If we can assume that that is what's going on here. I don't know.
Well, the way I see it, we have a problem. Our problem is corruption.
Right.
And you call what Sindri is doing a solution, but it is merely a stopgap. It does not eliminate the corruption, does not save people from corruption. In fact, it brings people under the yoke of somebody who may ask for a tithe, somebody who may do this for them and ask something of them because of it. But what can a god ask other than thanks?
Thanks or fear?
Subservience, worship.
I'm just saying, Roshan, I would love to believe that Ave Ascended would be a good and just and caring God.
And what part of your brother makes you believe that he wouldn't be?
The fact that he kept that journal. He saw that thing. He did not sacrifice a single other person's blood for it. But he knew what he was walking into. He saw what it took to find that book. And he saw it for the destructive manual of... He saw it for what it was. And he took it anyway.
Well, then you should say your feelings to me, because I would take it too. I would read it because I crave to know what is possible. Is that a crime?
I do not think so, but I do think that cogitating on the workings of people who would blink not once at the proposition of ending 100,000 lives for the sake of generating zealous, terrible screaming to make a god. It's no!
You
It's
give your brother
preposterous!
far too little credit. We just watched him fall to pieces over this, agonizing for years about the morality of it.
I know.
He didn't not blink. It was something
I'm not
that tore
talking
him
about
apart.
Ave. I'm not talking about Ave. I'm talking
who,
about
me?
the people... No, I'm talking about the people who wrote the book in the first place. The people who wrote that book in the first place fundamentally, clearly, don't give a shit about human life, about living people. If all they see is quantum blood to create a greater source of power, they don't give a shit about people. That's not how you make a god that will serve the people.
And it kind of looks like your brother did it differently.
He went about it differently, yes. And he was trying to make changes, I can see that. But I'm not sure that working off of this blueprint was ever going to be a worthwhile enterprise. It seems poison right down to the root to me.
Is it even possible? Do we even think it's possible if we ascend Ave to godhood that he could eradicate corruption? He had the ritual of his funeral, and it merely shunted it across the hammer, made it
That
someone
might be
else's
where
problem.
faith comes into play. How much faith do you have in Ave?
His popularity was certainly much higher in the West than in the East. I don't know. If faith, if belief factored into that ritual as well as into this one, then maybe. I don't know.
the assumption I can make is that Ave's death, used as a catalyst, was for a great working of magic. And should he arise to godhood, that is a drop in the bucket to the wonders that they can perform.
Roshan, it seems like you clearly possess a great amount of knowledge that we do not. You've been carrying it around inside of you for a long time and keeping it pretty close to the vest, much in the way it seems Ave had for his whole life. But Ave shared with his closest companions, who saw Dagwood in the memories. You're asking us to trust you without doing that.
I don't know what the fuck you want me to say. I walk around and I pretend like I know things, and then I tell you things, I tell you everything that I've got, and then you believe that I'm holding something back. Yes, in the past I've had a problem with sharing. I'm sorry, but I don't know what more I can tell you about this. You watched all of these things that I didn't know. I don't know what else you think I've got inside me that I'm not sharing. What
I
is it
don't
that you
think
want to know?
How are we meant to trust either aspect of that shadow? That, again, every aspect so far has attempted to kill us, aside from these two remaining, and they both seem to have glaring faults. And then just gestures vaguely at giant Ave. And you're trying to sustain both of them when they seem to be mutually bellicose towards one another. They both want to accomplish the same ends for themselves, either a restoration or ascension to godhood. And you want to preserve them both. How did you come to that, other than in the meetings that you have when you shut off sound and hide in your room and talk to them and only them?
I didn't come to that conclusion talking to them after Ave died. Ave raised me. And perhaps it's foolish, but I would follow him off a cliff.
You have to remember, Roshan, he raised me too. And I'd say, for most of my life, I really would have agreed with you, without a second hesitation. My brother was human. That's all. I think he many faults and many glowing things about him. But I don't think I would follow a man off a cliff if he couldn't give me a good reason why. The last time I did, I walked into a valley and I lost him.
I'm not. Go ahead, Roshan. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that that's how things played out. But knowing what I do now, I would still follow him.
This ritual here and now, how is it even supposed to work without the crest?
We're not doing this ritual right now. Right now, we are merely siphoning the power from a magical object and using my body as a container.
Oh boy.
And that's still the plan, I think, no matter what we choose to do. We're not leaving that sword just existing, right?
Exactly.
That's probably
Right.
the safer option.
The sword continuing to exist is definitely not anything I think we were considering on the docket, so
Is there any way that this ritual could go, not this one, but the big one, that restores Ave to humanity without ascending him to godhood? If he's a good man, and he's brought to life to do good things on this world, maybe working as a check or balance against whatever Sindri may or may not be trying to accomplish. Being a leader the way everyone praised him as being, but not without being an entity of infinite power.
I don't think that if we brought Ave back, he would be the same as in life, because he's been stabbed with the might of a god, and though those pearls in his stomach were meant to preserve his essence, they were not enough to preserve fidelity. Or the shadow, the keeper, simply would be Ave. And what is missing, I believe, likely scattered by the might of a god.
Still have my concerns about whether that lost fidelity translates into danger if we grant this thing more power, but also there's still the issue of Odin to deal with. I've scarcely felt more broken than drinking from the chalice that gave us nightmares in Odin's Valley. That's what we've seen inside of Odin. We've seen the corruption that his corpse has caused. Haven't found one redeeming thing about him.
I can't blame anyone for their distrust. And perhaps my trust is ill-given, but I know what he's done for me. Been steadying in a time of so much uncertainty. And perhaps it is not my wish to create Odin the god again. And perhaps I no longer believe that he should be a part of this ritual at all, but I suppose shame me for my sentimentality.
I won't. I still regret what had to be done with the flame. I hate that I had contributed to. We could have done it better. And I think that I will carry that the rest of my life. And I do not want to ask you to invite that grief again lightly. But I don't know what permitting Odin's shade to persist, if we have the ability to defend him, will do.
Don't think it's anyone's intention to shame you about anything, Roshan, and I hope that's not the impression we've given. It's just, this is a tremendous amount of power, and you're the only one that seems confident in how to wield it. And I'm concerned. I wouldn't want it in my hands. I feel like I'm at least holding some of it.
And I don't trust myself to hold it either. That's why I want to put it in the hands of someone I do trust.
What do you think that you'll be able to do with the ritual, with the Keeper as they are? What are you working on in order to change it from what it is?
Well, my plan for after this is to go back to Skull City, perform another ritual, something simpler, to concentrate my power in a way that can be shed and give it to my sister, who will then be the cosmic whole that we've always been a half of. And from there, that power becomes the vessel for what comes after.
Still so many more variables here. Does Rose share your goals and intentions? Is she going to participate in the way that you want her to? What about Dagwood? We hope to do this in Sindri's home. And you think he would just allow it to happen?
Just an aside, I think doing this in Sindri's living room would be hilarious.
Right below the spear,
In
guys.
with groceries, like, what the
I
fuck?
fully believe, like, I could see Roshan just
What?
musing to himself, actually doing it in his living room would be just so funny.
Moves his fucking love seat out of the way.
We gotta do it in the bar room so that we can get drinks during it.
Right.
Yeah.
I was more speaking about Skull City as being his home, but
Right, but
in
still.
his actual loft is even better.
I think Roshan looks at Nyx like with the like split second thought to read her on this situation, but his eyes go to the ground instead and says, I think the kiln has always considered Ave a threat and would seek to stop us if he knew what was happening. And I think he feels like ashamed saying that in front of Nyx because of her relationship with him, but her father-in-law wanted to kill my father-in-law and did. Or,
Listen, it kind of sounds like your
Adopted
sister put that on him a little bit.
It did kind of sound like Rose was talking Ave up a little bit here and there, a teensy bit.
You should really go kill this guy on this mountain.
Okay, it didn't sound to me like she wanted him to go kill
Ave on the mountain. No, not necessarily, but it
But-
did sound like she was maybe talking up Ave as like a pretty significant guy who's like looking to do some pretty important things in the West with magic and corruption. And he's like, "Oh, no, you don't."
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, you all know that Ave wanted to be stabbed with this spear.
Yes.
How else were they going to do that without sowing seeds of doubt within the kiln?
Mm-hmm. He was going to be like the only guy who would have the means and the funds to actually go and get the dang thing out of the Valley of Odin to begin with.
We could have done it. It would
Yeah,
just
but we
have
wouldn't have
been
had the
us stabbing
motive
Ave
to
then.
stab Ave in the heart. Come on.
Roshan would have done it.
That would have been an interesting episode 4. Can you imagine? Let me use my wish right now. We'll go all the way back there. Have Roshan stab Ave instead.
Hold still, Dad.
Attaboy.
The wedding gift.
That's my boy.
I'm proud of you, son. I think Fenn's gonna quietly peel off from the group and make his way back to the book where Ave is negotiating with Herserson. And he's gonna flip back a few pages before the bookmark, and he just wants to kind of read how much effort went into that before Ave went directly to follow me or I'll burn your fucking town down. He wants to see if there's like days of negotiation before that, or if Ave just came in and like, you're gonna listen to me, bitch.
You can roll me an investigation check. Meanwhile, anybody else doing anything or continuing this conversation or being like, well, when in Rome?
I'm thinking Nana's like a little bit curious as to whether or not there's some sign. She doesn't know everything about what the Gothies were doing with Ave when he was born, but she knows that there was a ritual that was done. The ritual was what tied Gulveig to Ave, whatever that did. I think she'd like to kind of step back because I remember there were like younger looking Gothies kind of behind us when we were viewing the very first bookmarked scene. I think she'd like to go back prior to that and try to get a sense for what their intent was. What did they mean to get out of that ritual? And see whether or not there's any indication as to whether they felt like they got it.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is maybe something attainable. The way you were phrasing it is from the perspective of the Gothies, which you cannot acquire here.
Okay.
Ave,
okay.
as a child, would not have known much.
True.
You are looking for possibly an Ave who maybe looked into this later.
That's true. Yeah, I could see that. Because it feels like something that he would have gone back and looked into himself if he was looking into this Ascension ritual anyway.
So this is going to be a hard find because you do
Okay.
not know at what point in his life he
He thought
acquired
to
this
look back.
information.
I see. Okay. All right.
So you
I
go
can
ahead
accept
and
that.
roll your investigation check.
It's
Anybody
gonna be
else?
bad.
Anybody
Let's
else doing
see.
anything? Just hold on to those numbers for me.
Yeah.
Roshan
That's not the
will
worst.
blush and then look at probably like the final book on the shelf um, before Ave died and knows what's in it, and I don't think he can get his mind off of it, and so he'll go open up that one.
Okay. Roll me investigation. Twins, what's up? Hey, twin. Twin? What are we doing?
Twin. Pot twins.
We're not technically twins, but
Emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah, that's what I was going off of. Y'all seem like
we watch everybody immediately scatter. Roshan goes to be sad. The other two
yeah.
to research things.
Uh,
Kyle just want to see
Roshan
if
gets
we
a
can...
brief little hug before we go.
Nah, I'm just like, okay, that's a later problem.
mm,
You want to read what's in that terrible book? If we can find more about it.
I am curious.
Let's go look.
The terrible, awful book that Nana was ranting about being terrible and awful. Yes,
Listen, it's what this is based on. We
That's
should know
true.
more about it.
that's a good point.
The book that broke Ave's brain. Ave
Mm.
Yeah,
had
no
been
kidding.
researching similar subjects for decades prior.
The great news is Nyx doesn't have one. There's no brain to break.
Oh, yeah, brother.
We don't have
This
the
book
right.
doesn't scare me. I don't even know how to read.
Keld and
Okay.
Nyx are both immune to the frightened condition. They're fine.
It's very
Perfect.
true.
We got this.
So I will either both of you can roll investigation or one of you can roll with advantage.
Let's both roll.
Yeah, I got.
I
plus
assume it'll
0,
work
so.
out to the same thing.
Okay.
Listen, I've
So
got
you
a
guys
-1.
hold on to those numbers, and I'm going to meander my way back. And shock and awe. What are you looking for again, Fed? A
I
lot of
wanted
things
to,
happened in between.
I wanted to see how much effort Ave put
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Okay,
The
into
Hersherson situation.
how quickly did he jump to I will kill everybody in your town if you do not calm down. So go ahead and tell me what you got on that investigation check.
17.
So this isn't all maybe exactly about failure as it is at the other library. There are probably some numbers that will be failures, but a 17 will not be. At least for this topic, based on the fact that you know which book to kind of go look at. You have a bookmark of a spot that's probably somewhere in the vicinity of where this information is. You go and take a peek, and you see over and over and over again. Ave goes to this man's door. Sometimes he is led inside and conversations are had. Sometimes he is not allowed inside and either stands there and waits or says he will return and leaves. He did that for months.
That is useful information. Not sure what to do with it, but there will be a use for it.
It's at least good to know that he didn't go for the nuclear option right out of the gate. We like that.
Yeah, and I mean, we never met Strick Hersherson, but the rumors around him were that he was a very bellicose individual, so kind of a bastard. So the fact that Avi was that patient is reassuring. Just got bad vibes off of the little snippet that we did get.
Okay. And
Roshan
Nana?
got the
Oh, go ahead.
opposite of those vibes. Roshan's like, fuck yeah, dad. Burn his village to the ground.
And all of its innocence.
Nana was not feeling that, but you go. Have fun.
Okay, we'll go to Nana next, who is looking to see if there's any information about the ritual that took place to make Ave. There are some things you already know, or at least have to believe are correct until proven otherwise, based on information from Amma, Nana, and Ave's mother, which is that this ritual was instigated by Gulveg. The Gothies said that Gulveg spoke to them and instructed them on how to do this ritual. And they followed through. And I mean, they don't know that she's dead, so they think it worked. Um, and what did you get on your investigation check? I was about to just keep talking
It
past
was a
things that you don't know.
16. 17 on the
Okay.
dice -1.
It takes time, and time in this place is weird, and you cannot
Mm.
like figure out what it means. Like you're like, I do not know how long I have been looking at books. I
It
have
is
no
even
idea.
more of a soup than it is outside. Oh well.
Yeah, it is hard to tell. But you find some information where Ave looked into this and spoke to Gothies and tried to find old texts and things upon it. Um, he struggles, it seems, to figure out what exactly Gulvig was attempting.
Mm.
Like he sees ambiguous information in the ritual. When he looks at it, he's like, I can't tell if the intent, one of the intents fills him with an anger that I think he carries with him for a while. The first intent being that he is a conduit. He is a way for Gulveg to have more connection with her people.
Mhm.
That
To be directly present.
yes, to perhaps grow her following as one small town.
Mm.
It makes a god, but how strong of a god, how living of a god. um
Fair.
and the other one was, he thinks, possibly to possess his body in a way that it is still a
Mm.
conduit, but where he has much less control, and that
Mm.
Golveg would like puppet him. But he has no way of knowing this because the information he can gather on the ritual is spotty at best, and
Mm.
doesn't exactly understand how parts of it were supposed to work with the information he was given. So he also seems
Hmm.
lost on the topic. Like he doesn't have enough information on it. Like it squirreled away and he can't find it, or somebody is lying. He does not know.
Damn.
Um,
That's interesting.
Roshan, would you tell me exactly what moment you're looking for, please?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the night before Ave died,
Yeah.
there was a cute little scene where
Mm-hmm.
Roshan and him were up on watch, uh, and Ave told Roshan uh, perhaps the most significant thing that he's ever been told.
Okay.
Where, oh, go on.
Oh no, you keep going. I was hyping you up.
Uh, where Ave called him a son, and I think Roshan picks up that book, and even before he opens the pages, his cheeks stream with tears.
And what did you get on your investigation check?
20.
Okay. Honestly, not the hardest book to find, based on its probable location in the library. So you went to the correct spot. You open the book and you are hit so aggressively with Ave's emotions. It is a volley of a myriad of mixed emotions. You see Ave sitting by the fire, sick, physically ill. He's tired, his body aches, his heart thrums unnervingly in his ears. He knows he needs to tell Roshan these last words of a dying man. A proclamation, something to hold on to. Every word he said was true. You are his son, and he loves you. They are a promise and a hope that that love will be returned. He hopes the words bolster Roshan. He hopes that if saving the world isn't enough, that loyalty and love are. It is love, and it is manipulation. The next scene is of Ave vomiting into a snow-covered bush, clearly unwell, a nausea overcoming him, disgust in himself palpable. You can feel his stomach turn, and then after your conversation, he consumes the pearls. Meanwhile, a terrible, terrible book we're observing. So what did we get, besties?
14.
18.
Oh, Keldlick,
Holy
move! Evil,
shit!
evil books
Oh
right
my
here.
god! This man knows what he's after.
Nick's remembered the general area. The Cal's like, that's exactly that one.
Enhance.
You're like, okay, he opens the book here. We know that. And so he studies it here. So you guys actually kind of go to a couple books and like start going through things because you're trying to get glimpses of pages and information. Now, the thing is, I must inform you, you are getting this information from a man's memory. So this is a man's memory of topics in a book that he did not like hyper focus on. But he did read them. He did observe them. So there is something there. The topics
Crumbs.
of note, little crumbs, the topics of note that can seem to ring true are power, knowledge, summoning, and subjugation. These seem to be the things that stood out to Ave. The way you are able to see them, at least in this go through, like you can definitely do some intuiting and look deeper and make some some assumptions yourself on maybe how things work at a later date if you were so inclined. But you are able to get glimpses more picturesque than word, than ritual of these particular topics. The first topic of power. There is the depiction of this consumer eating a heart of a creature and wearing its skin. You can tell that the skin has been drawn in a way where it is rotten. Ergo, the skin must stay on the body as long as possible. You can see in another picture what looks to be the creature writhing in pain, that the skin and the heart must be removed while the creature is alive. And eating the heart and wearing the skin, that is the beginnings of a ritual to seize that creature's power. Knowledge. Knowledge trading or knowledge theft. It seems that there are multiple ways to accomplish this, the way that the author of the book spoke. The version that the author focused on was a linking of minds, which seems can be done consensually, but is not necessary. You see a picture of what looks like a skull split open with the juices inside being collected and made into some sort of potion. Then there is summoning. with this, if you continued to look upon it, um, you can see images of other planes and what looks like a door being opened from that plane to where the caster is, and an entity being forced through. In D&D terms, you could learn the gate spell with a little extra stank on it from this book. The creature does not get a save against this. The creature, if you know its name, must come through and be presented before you. Does not mean it will not try to beat the shit out of you, but it is there, which is followed up then by subjugation, mind control, unavoidable submission. Is that something you'd like to look more into, Nixon Keld, as that page presents itself?
Oh man, if this is gonna be part of it, this feels like something we should know to tell them, right? This feels bad. If this is
It
part
does
of this
feel bad.
ritual that
Uh,
they
oh,
made.
to be fair, these things seem presented as separate rituals,
Hmm?
but that does not mean they are not. You couldn't mix them together if you wanted to.
They
I'm
could
not saying
all
you couldn't
came
do
out of
that.
the same cookbook. You don't have to serve them all at the same table, but they could kind of be sides complementary to each other.
This is the consumer's journal. This is him being like, here's a spell, and here's a spell, and here's a spell, and here's my musings, and this spell. So they are like in separate areas of the book.
I think Keld was interested in it just as like a just to get any sort of insight in anything Ave might have gleaned from it.
Yeah,
Just to make sure
if he
he's not
remembers it
keeping some
enough.
weird mind control shit
Sure,
that
you
we're
guys
not
look
aware
into
of.
how to fully make a person submit. Just because.
Because
Honestly, these are the only two characters I genuinely don't have any concerns about learning that information.
We would
These
only
are the
do
only
it.
two.
We do it as a way to get people into the shed back home for their own
Basically.
good
Yeah.
for a day.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
all I could see them using it for.
That sounds good and healthy, I think. I will say you can tell from the memories on this. This does seem to be an area Ave did not frequent. Like the memories on this seem to be the spottiest of the groupings.
well, that makes Keld feel better.
Yeah, but it seems there are magics like Geish and things like that that can cause damage and last for certain periods of time. It seems that this magic practitioner has come up with a way to basically bind people into servitude through certain runes and the exchanging of like flesh. Um, and if one were to go through with these things, there would not be like mechanically speaking saving throws. It would be done. And there would not be pain if you resist an order you could not. It would be the strongest mind control spell that you have ever heard of.
And I won't remember this as soon as I close this book.
I bet. uh, and after you close that book, you can see a light shining in the distance and intensify. And that's where we're going to take our break. So if our heroes here would like to ask me any more questions about things in this library, they got exactly 10 minutes to dwell on it. So go get a snack and a drink, and we'll be back in 10.
Thank you, Ten.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Called for episode 253 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. The party has observed many a book of Ave's memory, one of those including information about how he very methodically and painstakingly and timestakingly stumbled into this ritual. And then a bit of a conversation about, is this a good idea? And Roshan's like, I have not wavered even slightly, my dudes. Uh, um, but you guys do a little looking around for more books to get more information. Um, you can see the light from the keeper scan like past the library. Like the light goes over each of you, and and you're like very aware. This isn't looking for me, as it does not stop when it goes over you. It just continues on and the light continues to search. Um, but you all are in the library still. Is there anything else you wanted to do? Are you going to reconvene and talk? Is there things to look for? Are there scenes you wanted to look more deeply into? Whatever you guys want.
I think Roshan is just holding this book, sitting with his back to a bookshelf, reliving that moment over and over again.
I think then finding the information that he had sought goes back to where Roshan was to kind of like half apologize, but then Roshan's not there, so he's just gonna wait.
I think Nana, since she doesn't really find very much concrete, because Ave didn't find very much concrete, it seems, to do with the reasoning for or the nature of exactly the purpose of the ritual that made him what he is. Or was. What he was is component of what he is now, or what's left of him is. It's very far over Nana's head, and she doesn't appreciate Ave continuing to give her headaches like this, even from beyond the grave. But that's what brothers do, I guess. So she's instead pivoting to looking for, I think, what Ave seemed to believe the result was. Did he find evidence enough to make him feel as though the ritual, as it was laid out, succeeded? Did the ritual, was it done properly? Or was it never going to succeed to whatever end he can figure Gulvig was heading for?
Based on the information you have gathered and the information Ave has gathered, could you possibly find more if you stayed here for a long time? Possibly.
Okay.
But the thing is, Ave does not believe this was the intended outcome. Ave
Okay.
thinks the wrong thing happened. He does not think Golvig was intending to kill herself. He does
Okay.
not believe that at all.
Okay. So
Um,
something was not right with how the ritual was meant to go. Unclear as to, was it possible in the first place, or like was something done incorrectly, or was some component unwittingly substituted wrong, or
yeah. Ave found nothing in like the things he acquired that he'd be like, oh, that would kill a god. That right there. That would have killed her.
okay.
He does not
Nothing like
find
that.
anything like that. But once
No
again,
major oversights.
he was there but not there. So
Right,
he did
yeah.
not get to watch it occur and
Right.
have that firsthand information. You would
And there
probably
were no
need
records
Hemming's
kept, I
memories.
guess. Oh.
Well, the things he looked at things and he says some things seemed incomplete or like the information was spotty or ambiguous. Um, But he was 100% convinced that that Golveg was dead, and he was right.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though a fragment of Gulvig persisted, Gulvig as she was absolutely never did exist as long as Nana was alive. At the very least, not that she ever, I think, heard a voice back in her prayers. I feel like that's not a wild
Ave never
claim.
heard a voice back in his prayers.
Exactly. If Ave didn't, and he was supposed to be her conduit, Nana feels retroactively very vindicated in not really feeling like she could get anything back. Like, I'm sure she had religious experiences. I'm sure she had moments of, like, elevated emotion during these religious ceremonies, but I'm not positive she ever heard Golveg either.
The thing is, you would have probably experienced great miracles from Golveg, in quotes.
Yes, of course.
But
Performed by Ave, who was her
they were
conduit.
Ave.
Okay. And that's
But
what
the
she has
thing
seen very
is,
well proven.
you're not sure if, because once again, memories are funny things.
Yeah.
Either this is something Ave experienced, or it is something that his mind manifested, which is very possible, as this is his first ever memory. And it was the first thing you guys heard when you opened the book, was a woman's voice saying, "A big blessing for such a little thing, you are my hope." The voice was reminiscent of the new flame. You could assume that that statement was from Golveg to Ave, that he either heard or manifested in his memory of this.
But somehow it did seem to sound akin to that voice.
It sounded similar to you.
Which, would there be any way for the Keeper to have influenced that voice retroactively for us to experience, or can we
don't know.
trust that? No.
This is crazy ass magic that you're looking at right now. This room, crazy as fuck.
You're right, though. Okay.
All of these could be fake memories. Every single one of them
Yeah.
could be fake and the Keeper's lying to you. Or these are Ave's memories. You do
Yeah.
not know.
Right. And, like, honestly, so long as anything is technically fucking possible, we might as well operate on at least the ground that the Keeper believes that this is all fact, at least of Ave's experience. Be that as fallible as any human experience is. This is to... If we are to trust the Keeper, this is how Ave experienced his life. Which, I don't know. Maybe there was some facet of Gulveg that did stick in Ave.
So he was imbued with her magic 100%. That is where his
100%.
magic came from.
And
But he heard no voice. He had no connection to the goddess. And the only thing he felt for her was hatred. These are things you know to be true based on the memories you have experienced, the things you have read in his journal. Ave hated a ghost. He despised Golveg. That you could put your fork in and be like, this is the true, this here truth.
That sure do be how Ave felt. 100%. We can trust that. And I feel like
hated her.
Honestly, the facts of Ave's life, I think Nana has heard secondhand so often she's almost forgotten them, you know? But seeing those stories played from Ave's perspective, seeing him grow, seeing him as a young man, as young as she is, as young as she was, it makes sense. Everyone wanted him to be her, basically. He was her, for all intents and purposes, for the village. From as young as she was, she can't fathom that kind of ask. that kind of responsibility, that level of burden. Of course he hated her. She wonders maybe whether or not that influenced what was left of the flame by the time we found her in Roshan.
All you know is about the Flame and Ave's relationship is that they both hated each other.
Mm. Well, so it goes. I think Nana would like to turn her attention to if she can find the book. She thinks she can approximate where it would be based on how the timeline played out. She'd like to look around the days leading up to the wedding and just get an idea for where he was at before he laid out this quest for her and her friends. I'm afraid I cannot hear you.
Perfect. Go ahead and roll investigation. What's anybody else doing? Are they looking into more books, or are they meandering someplace or talking to somebody? What is the intent from Nyx and Keld? Or if Roshan is something else, but I think he is holding he book.
He hold, he book, and he weep.
Mm.
Are there any crying trees in the library?
There's a bunch of brambles, but no trees.
We build a tree over Roshan so he has the proper place to cry.
Yeah, there's a good number of brambles right there at the edge of the bookshelf, so.
We got you, bud. I am afraid my investigation check was merely a 14. 15 on the dice, -1. Thanks, -1 investigation.
Okay, you're on the hunt currently.
Yep. I'm a hunting. Check back with me later.
I just kind of want to wander. Unless you have something you want to look at, Keld. We could try to find embarrassing moments of all of them that Ave remembers.
You can find the smut section.
You can go find the smut section.
Guys, there is a full catalog of every time this man is boned in this library.
So we
It
go
must
hunt
be
for-
true.
We find the area with the red curtain.
Yeah.
Where's the red curtained area?
You have to drag my brother up Bone Mountain again!
The return to Bone Mountain. And we only know one thing about Ave, if anything, is that this man fucks. So this is
This is where we'll learn actually about him, guys.
We gotta know.
We know he was in Beloved. That is definitely
He was there.
truthful. We heard about that in Beloved.
So we know what happens there.
Time to be nosy.
Yeah. So Nyx and Keld, what are you doing?
We can just sit here and talk about what we read while they read books, I guess.
Talk about subjugation and things. I'm trying to think if
Listen, you see, the only thing I can think of to go forward off of this would not be a book that would be in this guy's head. It would be, Dagwood was also there reading these books, so maybe she would actually know and would be like, oh, we use this for this part, but that's not in here.
no.
So
You guys are aware that there's parts of this ritual that like Ave did not fully know about. There were things that he's like, this is after I'm dead, and you say you got it, so I have to believe you. There are parts of the ritual he does not know about. Only Dagwood, maybe Rose, but Dagwood 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not a Dagwood memory section. Well,
Mm.
there is, but
Well,
it's not the
there,
same.
there most certainly is. It's behind
That
that curtain
crosses
over
over a
there.
I
lot
was
with the
gonna
smut
say.
Behind
section.
that curtain.
We go to the Dagwood section and start reading.
You're like, this is a
Jillian.
mistake. Ah.
All of his memories of Dagwood are
A little sexy. A little. It was at least probably a slow burn, so you'll get ample warning, but
nice.
only so much.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you guys are just hanging out in the mind library of a dead man.
It's like, what do I know about this dead man? I don't know.
They just start opening random books near wherever we're standing. Well, Kel thinks.
Yeah, the section you're in, you would probably end up getting stuff that's like about their adventures on the road as like as an adventuring party.
That's fun.
So it's like just like little things on the road and like fixing a cart and fighting off some people that like some highwaymen that try to take their money. It's things like that.
How to not get
Running
robbed.
Yeah, running out of a temple while it collapses,
Oh.
stumbling into an owl bear mother in a cave, yeah, after first seeing her cubs and then the dread kicks in. But it's just small things like that, moments where like the energy of these books feels like very like lighthearted and happy.
I think Keld will enjoy that little bit and sort of just have fun comparing it to whatever nonsense we've been through. That's
Now,
not
we have
so
a nice
heavy.
time, as we tend to do on our adventures.
We have
Is
fun
to
here.
find a happy time. They bring the happy times with them.
All of you in your locations, Nana is attempting to find something. See, I talk to other people and then I already forget what everybody else wanted. I talk for 2 minutes and then it's gone.
The days leading up to Ave's wedding.
Neat, thank you.
Yes, that.
Um,
Just getting a vibe for like his state of mind. Like, what is. I'm sure that she has a couple memories leading up to the wedding, especially because the wedding being announced rather last minute, already after Hertha was pretty far along with Erling. I think that she had in that time been looking, like squinting at Ave a lot more than she usually did. I think he always sort of looked tired. I think he always sort of looked overworked. I think she chalked that up a lot to he's the chief and he's God, so oh well. But at the same time, now she's like, was he performing blood rituals in these last few days? Was he gearing up? What was he focusing on? What was going through his head? What was he prioritizing before he asked us to go with him to the mountain?
I would say between the time of the proposal and the wedding, which was a few months, um, Ave was done. He had put everything in place. Every duck was in a row by that time. Everything was done, and he was trying to enjoy life. And at that time, you see that his connection to Hertha seemed to deepen a bit. That he was able to focus on her more and his family and the community. And he wasn't having to stay up late and do these rituals. Was he staying up late because he could not sleep? Because that's when his thoughts could come for him? Yes. But at least he was laying in bed and wasn't walking around bleeding out around the statue at midnight. he was truly trying to enjoy himself and make himself fun to be around and show kindness and joy as he could and experience those things. Marrying Hertha was 100% a safety net for her. He decided he was going to marry her so that there would be no way anybody could um, illegitimize his child, that she would be in a position where she could step into the position as chief a lot easier. It seems he assumed that would be the outcome. Um, and that her and Erling would be set. That was the entire purpose of the wedding, was making sure that they would be set after this.
Mm.
But he was doing his best to be happy at that time because that's all the time he had left.
Yeah, that makes sense for why Nana would have been squinting at him, given how he was baseline for most of her life. Now, granted, he was joyful and present during her early childhood. I think that then, like, in the recent years, correct me if I'm wrong, it seems to me like probably in the more recent years when he was focusing more on the peace talks, the rituals, like solidifying these like sources of power and the means to facilitate whatever Dagwood needed for the things that he was not ready to do. I think that that would have been a time where a young Nana would have seen her older brother visibly more tired, visibly less present, visibly more strained, visibly more frustrated. I think that it would have slipped through probably more than it had done prior to that. And that kind of maybe could have been like a new norm for a good chunk of her adolescent life, depending on how long these rituals took. I'm maybe expanding the timeline a bit too far, but
So the thing is, maybe some of that is true. The man was busy, and that is
yes.
apparent. He was a
Yes.
chief, and
Yeah.
that is enough for to explain any tiredness that may have shown through.
True.
He was an expert at putting a mask on. He was
Mm.
an expert.
Hmm.
There was only two people that saw through that mask, and that was Hertha and that was Rose. Those are two people that were able to actually see through it. Dagwood was allowed to look at it. So there are three people that got to see behind the mask to different extents. Um, and the thing is also, Nana spent a good part of the time that he would have been very aggressively working on these things in the woods.
Yeah.
Nana was not the most present community member. Roshan probably spent way more time with Ave than Nana did, and he didn't really pick up on it. Of course, he was tired. Of course, he couldn't be at everything. He couldn't do all of this. Some days he looked more tired than others, but he always went through with his responsibilities. He was never really short with anybody. He did not apply pressure for people like in the learning environment, was very fine with Nana wanting to step away from that, was very fine with Roshan and Rosetta wanting to stay and do that.
Yeah.
And did those meetings become less frequent? Yes. But I think Ave was a master of his craft, and it would be very hard to see the cracks not knowing where they came from.
Mm.
Now, maybe Nana can look back and be like, this makes sense. This adds to it. But in the moment, it would have been like, the man's busy
He's busy.
and
He's
he's a
tired.
chief, and now he's going to be a father, and there are things to
Yeah.
worry about. Like,
Sure.
that is the situation at face value. Now Nana can see it from a different angle, but that's probably what it would have been at the time.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I think that a lot of this is a great deal of recontextualizing for her. I think that she's really trying hard to actually get a grip on who Ave really was. Because I think that a lot of her memories of him are probably imperfect to different degrees because she was not as consistently present in the village, in the community, because she was doing ranger shit. She was looking out for the community, but she wasn't inside it. That was where she was comfortable. That was where she felt like she needed to go because she did not feel like there was an appreciable way that she could contribute in the same way that Ave did inside the community. She didn't feel like that was a place where she could be useful. So she wanted to find a place she could be. And that took her away. And I think that she just spent some more time reading through and contending with that.
Any other intended book searchings? From your current locations. There is a moment where you can feel what feels like static electricity building in the air around you. And out of the corner of your eye, depending on your location, you can see the light from the lantern begin to intensify. And the beam, like, it almost like you can see the static around it shoots down, and you feel the ground beneath your feet like vibrate. And you watch as like cracks of whatever this existence world extra plane is made of just like go flying and like turn to sparks and dissipate on the horizon. It seems that the keeper actively attempted to attack something, and then there's a lull, and it begins to sweep again. But this time it seems more quickly, as if it is following something or on the trail of something.
Right.
I think the static feeling of magic snaps Roshan out of the reverie, and he will stand and then start heading toward in the direction of the keeper.
Nixon Guild will emerge from their book fort.
Mm-hmm. Put down the smut that they've definitely found.
It's probably not hard to find, to be perfectly honest.
They were in the adventuring section. Like that has to be.
You're
Come
gonna
on.
find it.
So everyone's gonna know that they know way too much about their dad now.
Yeah.
Great.
Oops.
Yeah.
It's splotchy. Did you know it was splotchy?
So all of you can see from probably your locations, you can see Roshan moving forwards. The area itself is not just like just like a straight line. This is a strange, broken and twisted little world place you are in.
Does the sword have a actual place in this, or is it just like existing within the space somewhere and we don't know?
You have no idea where the sword is.
Okay.
You have not stumbled into it, and it is not like on a big pedestal somewhere.
Okay. Fen will probably, seeing Roshan bolt off, give a, no, we've got to go, and start in
I
pursuit.
figured. Keep it up. Keep it up.
I'm gonna start walking my very slow run.
Kilda walks slowly with Nyx.
Okay. Roshan at the front, followed by Fen and Nana, and Nyx and Keld in the rear. You begin to approach the looming figure that is the keeper, though it doesn't feel like the keeper anymore. This feels different. The energy is different. The visuals are different. You begin to approach, and it feels like you are miles away, like you are looking at a horizon where a mountain is walking. But the terrain itself is strange and like each step, some of it seems shorter and some of it seems longer, right? There's one step that seems average, and there's one where it seems like you have moved a mile. The space is strange, and you feel you are rapidly moving in on this space.
I think before we get even within reasonable hearing range, Roshan starts trying to get his attention, just shouting, "Keeper! Keeper!" And getting no reply, he changes to Ave. Ave. And then finally, his voice is loud, but he's not shouting, and he just says, "Dad."
You watch the figure stop. Unmoving for a moment like an actual mountain. But does not turn to face you. Maybe it can't, maybe it won't. But seems to now just stand there. Back to you.
Finally getting its attention, Roshan will, staring at its back, will say, "Your father was wrong. You've never been a disappointment. You have always wanted what's best for me, for Nana, for the community, even to your own detriment. And I'm sorry for doubting you. Please, will you speak with us?"
There is a slow turning of this creature's body. The hood obscuring its face. What do we have to talk about?
The future. The things you want seen accomplished. Or perhaps once did.
I'd like to speak with you as I never really did. And should have done.
Roshan and Nana, you can give me persuasion checks.
Nana's throwing on the stank. She's throwing on a superiority dice on this because it's important to me.
Roshan threw on the stank 2 for a nat
Good.
20.
Good!
For 36.
Okay. Well, dice tell a story. Natural one, +4.
balance. So let me take us these dice. Okay. You watch as like the shoulders sort of like snap and cave a bit, almost like it's falling forward, and you watch as its grip tightens on the staff and it tilts its head up to look at you. And you are looking at the pale white bone of a skeletal face. From its empty sockets, gold tears fall. I want to. I want. And then you watch as like the head begins to like shift back in the direction it was looking, and you can see like the flash of what looks like Ave's eyes in the empty sockets for a moment, trying to keep eyes on you. And you can almost see flesh at the corners, but it begins to slip back in to the bone. You can see that there is something in there trying to fight against whatever is currently happening. And its focus is trying to remain on Roshan, uh, but it seems currently split. We could talk after. I could help first.
We could help you.
Oh,
Give yourself something you wouldn't in life and do what you want. Please.
you roll some dice. I want to do this. And these just empty sockets are staring at you. I want to take this burden off of you. No more doubt. You need not worry. Then this future you imagine, that I imagined, it's hard to think of it. It's hard to think past. One failure after the other. And its head begins to like turn again. Let me deal with a problem.
You succeeded in so very many ways. You made a strong home, a good place. I don't care what else there is of legacy of you. Galunda is good. Its people are good. You made it a home. That was no act of Gulveg. That was not Hemming. That was you.
Nana, give me a persuasion check.
God, I'm gonna try. Come on, honey. Please. I'm putting a stank on it again. Please. Okay. What do we got? Okay. Okay. 21.
So you trust my judgment then? You are not here to sway me.
I want to see I want to see the man that was willing to stop and consider the little ones.
Well, that's what I'm doing. And his focus turns to Roshan. But that question was for you. Are you here to sway me?
That depends on what needs swaying. But I'm not filled with doubts. And I don't need you to shoulder my burdens for me. And I understand now, from the wise words of my friends, how foolish it was to urge you in the way that I did. I don't want you to take this burden off my back and, in so doing, damn yourself to retribution. And no longer do I believe that Odin would be beneficial. And I'm sorry that I let myself misunderstand and try to fix what wasn't broken.
Does Roshan believe that?
Yes.
Okay. You can see, like, it leans forward and there's like a flash of Ave's hair before the head tilts back and it disappears. A flash of his eyes. But whatever this is continues to hold on as best it can. It does not burden me to help you. You should not have to deal with him. That was my folly. Our folly. Let me protect you.
I'm afraid that if you choose this and you take vengeance on my behalf, that it will leave you unable to return to your former self. That whatever you are now, seeking to solve problems for other people without asking how they're meant to be solved, could be permanent.
That would not be a helpful or just God. It would not be what you tried to be, what you tried to model for us.
Persuasion checks, please.
I'm putting every stink I got on this motherfucker. Come on.
25.
Come on. What we got here? 26.
Okay. people with passive perceptions of. Actually, I don't think I have to give a number. I think you all might qualify besides Keld. Um,
Sorry, but
um, you can currently see the location of the sword and the ritual Roshan. It is hard to tell if it is like right next to you or a mile away. But it is currently in this space. You can see it. And you can also see something moving through the shadows in that direction.
I'll nudge Keld. Look over there, big guy.
It's right there.
You turn his body a full like 90 degrees.
Roshan, I don't
Oh.
think
That's a big
sword
dude.
should be
Like looks
handled.
up. Ah.
And I
Sheldon
don't
just
think
got
sword should be
here.
handled.
You're like, do.
Oh shit.
Huh? Oh!
I think Roshan is like, all right, maybe it's go time, and says, turn your gaze onto this ritual I've prepared. And please see it as a sign of hope and trust in you. And I think Roshan will head toward the sword, and unless somebody stops him, will begin the ritual.
And with that, I need all of you to roll initiative.
Alrighty, here we go!
Nice.
And then okay, 20 to 25. 15 to 20.
19. Damn, guys, oh shit.
All right, Nana.
Oh no!
10 to 15.
13.
10.
Okay, so 13 for Roshan. Roshan. Fen. And you two?
I beat you by 1 with my natural one.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, 3.
The siblings are distracted.
They just got here.
We just got here. We were discussing the books we were reading and which details we were
Yeah.
going to make them listen to.
Fen told Keld to look over there, and Keld looks in a different direction.
Wait.
We're going that way?
I thought you said
Okay.
Weast.
Nana, you are first in the initiative. Roshan, you're the next player character on deck.
Alright, I suppose I'm going to try and make a clear path ahead for Roshan. Because it seems to me like that relic being out and about is going to continue being a problem until we deal with it. Bare minimum. So, net effect is pretty much just clear the way. So she's going to run ahead her full 30 feet of movement. I don't think I have much in the way of actions that will help. So probably just dash, I think.
So I will say in this space, things are a little wonky. Roshan is
Okay.
going to have much more control than the rest of you, but it
Interesting.
is possible you can change things, maybe. It is a
Maybe.
thought that crosses your mind. This place
Hmm.
seems amorphous and strange.
Okay. It's sort of malleable and kind of
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In that case, is there a way that Nana can, I don't know, maybe just consider possibly creating a very direct path, perhaps, like up a shelf and to a connecting series of shelves that lead directly, conveniently to where we need to go?
Can you tell me what you think you would roll to accomplish this?
I feel like a survival check. It's like, is there a shelf that looks like it's maybe like such that, oh, I could see that tipping? And if it tipped in such a way at such an angle, then we have this connecting row, and that makes a clear shot right over there. She's plotting a course.
Roll survival.
Yep. Ooh, nifty. 14 on the dice plus 9, that is 23.
Okay. It looks like the path becomes more open and available.
Perfect.
You seem to be on the outskirts of the library, so there isn't as many shelves, but just the terrain is strange. But you were
Okay.
able to make it seem more clear and straightforward.
Perfect. Cool.
Okay.
Blazing the trail.
Let me roll something. Okay. You watch as this, like, almost like shadow of a figure moves through the space and seems to be closing in on where the sword is.
Mm.
And like seems that like in one more round will probably be upon it.
Mm.
Um so sort of stops in this space and like looks in the direction of where the keeper and Roshan are. Odin speaks, still presenting in a similar shape to Roshan. I think you're going to end up killing all of us. I don't think this is going to work how you think it will. If he kills me before you can do any of this, what happens then? What if using the magic to sever me does not leave you with enough for your ritual? You are not thinking this through and like does not seem intend to like be stopping. It's like
Mm.
I told you what I was going to do if
Yes,
you came for
true.
me, and I'm going to go
Yes, he
do
did.
that.
Yes, he did.
So will be upon the sword next round. Um, uh, the keeper does not respond, as it is now his turn. Um, but the staff hits against the ground, and you can feel the building of energy as light strikes down in the direction of where Odin is. You watch as he uses a reaction to shift the terrain and like puts up a barrier in front of himself as this light strikes into it and destroys most of the barrier, but seems to be leaving Odin unharmed in this moment. Seeds of doubt. And you can see like it seems to be affecting the keeper a little bit. Like I really do want to kill Odin, but what if this does actually ruin everything? So that lingers with the keeper. Roshan, you're up. Fen, you're on deck.
Okay, so Roshan's got. He needs to get within 30 feet of the sword.
Mm-hmm.
Can he do that this round? Oh, I suppose he could teleport, but I don't know. Does he need to?
Here,
No, he
here's my
he needs
question.
a spell.
Um, does Roshan think he can?
Yeah, I think once Roshan decided to make this a plea for trust and hope, and then saw this happening, he knows all of the steps that need to fall into place to get the chain reaction started. And I think he just he's walking the whole time, but I think he is able to cross more distance than it looks like he should be able to.
Okay. You are as close as you want to be.
He will raise a hand at the frozen waterfall that is holding the sword, and just melt the very bottom corner so that its weight topples it forward and impales the sword through Wax Roshan.
You watch as this sword moves down and stabs into the wax figure of Roshan, and there are a flare of runes that begin to slowly illuminate in the ground. The ritual is beginning. Anything else, Roshan?
No, I think he's pretty proud of that.
Okay. Fen, you're up. Nyx, you're on deck, followed by Keld.
So I've got this thought in my mind of a very cinematic moment where Roshan walks at a casual pace. Nana sprints, but somehow moves at the same speed as him. And Fen ping pongs back and forth between these stacks in this library to gain a higher perspective, and it's all happening at the same speed. Uh, of it, for whatever reason, we're moving our own speeds, but we're moving at the same pace. So Fen is trying to gain the high ground as he jumps back and forth from side to side, and there's just shadows being cast by Ave's lantern, or the keeper's lantern, and Fen will ready an action to shoot at the Odin thing if it does anything harmful.
Okay. Action readied. Nyx.
And bonus action Zephyr Strike.
Okay. Wait, Nyx, before you go, I'm doing a legendary action, so you can wait. Give me a second.
Little did you know, this legendary action has a theme, like a news anchor.
I think it's Animal Crossing is what I was doing, so hopefully big
I love
Nintendo
it.
doesn't get mad at me.
Oh no!
Roshan, can you roll me what do you call it? Spellcasting modifier, please?
13. No, 12.
Okay. You watch as Odin is not doing anything harmful to anyone, so this is not going to trigger Fen's thing. But you watch as he watches the sword sink in, and you watch as he goes and he places his hand on the ground, and where you are, you feel the gravity shift immensely, like it gets heavier, and it's almost like a pulling sensation. He is now pulling the sword out of the wax figure. You watch as it is removed and is beginning to move towards Odin. The ritual does not stop, but you watch the runes begin to flicker. The sword needs to go back. Odin may or may not have the sword on his next turn. But with his legendary action, he removes it and is pulling it towards himself. You can also see the shadows shifting around him a bit, and he is starting to look a bit taller and more imposing. Nothing compared to what you are looking at with the Keeper, but the form is beginning to shift. That's that. Nyx, you are now up. Keld, you are on deck.
I think she's a little confused as to how people are moving as fast as they are with how far away that is. We'll try to get there, and I'm just gonna activate her symbiotic entity. She's like, "Oh, this is gonna be bad. We're about to fight another one of them, and it's been bad every time." So
Okay.
she moves a whole 15 feet.
Nyx does not believe she can alter this place in any way and
But
moves
this place
15
is
feet.
crazy.
She's like, I don't know what y'all are doing, but I move 15 feet. Uh,
Just contemplating the space. It barely moves.
okay. Keld, you are up.
So has Keld been watching people alter this space?
You're all in the same space together.
Hmm. I don't think he fully knows what's going on, as that still has not been given to him in coherent ways. He probably sees the sword being removed and will was there a visual reaction from anyone when that happened?
Tell me, Roshan, what was your face when the sword Dunwuk got removed?
I think Roshan sees this as an inevitability. He knew that Odin would try to stop this if it did not come to a point where Odin was going to be available to do the final ritual.
Invited along.
So I think Roshan is perturbed, but only minorly. It's unsurprising.
Unwanted, unsurprising.
I
Keld,
think
you can be
Keld would...
upon this scene if you were so inclined.
Cool. He'll move forward and I think just ask Roshan, what should I do?
You can give me a 6-second response, Roshan.
My first thought is to say, stab me, but I think he gets out, return the sword to what would he call Wax Roshan?
The vessel.
Probably just
The effigy.
Ooh,
Put it back
the
in.
vessel is
The vessel is very choice.
yeah, that's good. Roshan would say, return the sword to the vessel.
Keld, you gotta return that. You gotta return that sword to the vessel, baby.
All right.
You gotta stab that sword into that Wax Roshan, baby.
He will try to do that.
You grabbing this thing?
Yeah. How else am I gonna return it?
How else could you? I think the save is a DC 24 wisdom saving throw.
Hmm.
So if you'd be so kind.
Hmm. Well, that's a 19.
Would you like to use
Total?
lucky?
I actually
Do it.
have a heroic inspiration.
Oh,
You
good.
got a lot of things at your disposal.
Yes, do it.
So
Be
many.
better, please be better, please be better.
That's not better.
Come on!
How many luckies do I have? Okay, I have not used them today. Nah. I don't think
Hey,
that's gonna do it.
I'll let you throw as many as you have in this moment at them if you'd like to, or you can just be like, this is what's happening, I suppose. One more?
If he goes into a murderous rage, is Odin the closest to him?
I don't know. It's kind of even split between Roshan and
Wait.
Odin.
No, highest is 19.
Why?
The dice insist.
Dude! We really have to get some smoke on them dice. Oh my god.
What if the vessel is my enemy?
I don't know if it is. But that vessel does look like someone, doesn't it?
It does. Oh,
You have to
no.
return that sword to the vessel, don't you?
Oh,
You
no.
do.
Hmm.
Technically, a better direction to be going in. But you don't really know that, Keld. You watch as Keld's hand grasps the sword and pulls it like it's still kind of holding it in like this gravitational pull. And you like watch as his eyes like he turns his head back and like focus falls to you, Roshan, and not the
Oh
vessel.
no. Oh no. Oh, we're in fucking trouble.
Hmm.
Perfect.
I'm helping.
Keld, to be fair, I don't think you've used an action yet.
I guess not.
And what is movement? What is movement in this space?
What is movement? Who knows?
I'm going to roll a luck check. I've said you are equidistant between two individuals. So, Roshan, evens or odds?
Which one is the good one?
Wouldn't
Odds.
we like to know?
Keld, your focus does go to Roshan
Hmm.
with a nat 1
Oh,
being very, very odd.
that is very odd. Oof.
I would like you to swing on him as many times as you can, and I would like you to smite each time.
Oh.
Thank you.
Hey, Roshan's got that new armor on, right?
None of you guys picked
Oh,
up
come
any of
on,
those
for
cool
fuck's
items.
sake!
I have the cape of the monobank, and I would like to make use of that. Is that
That
a
are
thing I
were
can use?
too
You're-
excited to start.
So
We
I don't
were.
think you are right next to Roshan, and I don't know what you're doing with the cape.
I would like to make use of its teleportation to.
That is an action, right?
I would have to double check it.
Yeah, she'd have to do that on her turn.
That'd be a very cool reaction to have, but the
That
cape
would
does
be
not have that
wild.
capabilities.
Sorry, you're
I don't
correct.
mean to disrupt things, but where the fuck is Rex?
Rex is in the smut section of the library, so if you guys need him.
We left him in
Yeah.
the fort. He was with us.
Yeah, you guys are like, stay here, we'll be back. And he's like, okay.
Take notes for us, Rex.
Taking notes.
This man knows too much about my brother dad figure.
Mm.
And what kind of smite are you asking for?
The divine quantities. I want the divine smites, please. I'd like them at second level. We'll start slow. But tell me, what did you roll to hit?
We got a 16 and a 19.
Which I both believe hit, correct? Okay. So
Hmm.
just go ahead and roll 1,000,000 dice for me, if you would, Kel.
Hold on, I'm finding my list.
No worries. Roshan's like, this is almost right.
Fuck me.
This is almost
We
what
can
I
work
asked
with
for
this.
specifically.
This is what you wanted?
I almost said
Almost.
stab me, so.
Kel's just a mind reader, obviously.
I'm helping.
Don't I have something? God damn it. I thought I had something.
Okay, second level, Divine Smite.
So for your first attack, what do we got?
God
Ooh.
damn it.
Wow.
Finally, good rolls, he says.
Finally.
It just has to be against another player character. That's all.
$35 points of damage for that one.
Okay.
For a second hit. $29.
Okay. And now I would like you to add one moment.
Oh no.
We have to add the sword's capabilities.
Ah yes. What that sword do though?
What that sword do?
Bad. It do
Not
bad.
good. Let me re-find that because I'm like, I don't need it, and then I'm like, no, wait, hold on. Hold on. To the bottom of the page. I know she's down there.
Eep. I'm returning the sword.
Hell, you hear like a whispering in your ears. It's time. Come to me. And this guy's in your way.
Hmm.
There's Dane's life. Okay.
Whispering.
Could you add 5d10 necrotic damage to this, please? I could roll them for you if I need to.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I just realized
Uh-huh.
Roshan has resistance to both radiant and necrotic, so
Nice.
that's great. How I would say how much of the 29 and 35 is radiant?
I would
a good bit of it.
Probably. I would say most of it.
Everything but like, yeah, I guess the 4 plus the D8. So what's an average?
I'll do math back here. I got it.
Mm-mm.
Throw more math at me when you're ready.
Yeah, no worries. 20. So go ahead and give yourself 12 necrotic damage. For me. Oh, and I have to do it for the other attack as well. One moment.
Eep.
And then 15 more necrotic damage, please. These are already halved. Okay. You start swinging in Roshan's direction, which is in the direction of the vessel, but is not the vessel.
Oops.
Keld, that is your turn. Nana, you are up. Roshan, you're the next player character on deck.
Right. I want to get in between Keld and Roshan and try and, I don't know, use my spell repellent shield to try and, like, deflect some of these strikes that Keld is swinging at Roshan into the vessel? I have Shield Master Evasion.
I don't know what that means off the top of my head.
Mm.
If an effect allows half damage on success, you can use a reaction to take no damage.
For yourself?
It is my intention to insert myself in between Roshan and Keld. If that means I need to make use of bait and switch, I will.
You would certainly have to use bait and switch to get between them.
Yeah, that. Yep.
That makes sense.
Bait and switch. I will throw down, once I'm within 5 feet of Roshan, I will switch places with Roshan, and, I'm going to roll that superiority die until the start of my next turn. Roshan is going to get a bonus to his AC equal to the number rolled. Beauty, that's a 6.
Mm.
Okay, you can add 6 to your armor class for now, Roshan.
For now.
Anything else, Nana?
I'm going to simply post up with my shield and try and... All right, big guy, come on! Into the other one! The wax one!
Is bait and switch an action? What is bait
It's
and switch?
special. It's special. When you're within 5 feet of a creature on your turn, you can
Special?
expend a superiority die.
Okay, so you still have your
and do
action and
this.
bonus action.
I do. I'm trying to figure out exactly. Jesus. I really hope that hitting you in the face is gonna maybe give you an opportunity to think about this again. She's going to give a little swing on Keld, like, fight me, not him, fight me, not him.
Are you using fisticuffs or are you swinging a sword?
Probably going to be doing a sword because you're not...
Go ahead and roll.
Bringing a fist to a sword fight gets your hand chopped off.
You're gonna have to kill me.
I hope not. Okay. 20 to hit.
No.
No. Beautiful. Wonderful. Great. You're a monster. 22 to hit.
No.
Wow. Aren't you a bitch? I love it. That isn't gonna do it. Okay. 3 attacks down the toilet.
You swing on Keld and it is just
Yup.
like, it is cold, calculated, hits your sword to the side, bashes it downwards and into the ground. You are unable to strike him this round.
All right. Cool. Wonderful. Good job,
So
big
it
man. I
says
see you've been
no.
practicing.
Well, that'll be Nana's turn if there's nothing else.
He's focused.
I'm actually going to use a bonus action to attempt to shove Keld back by 5 feet. Shieldmaster shove.
Okay. Gotta tell us what rolls are involved.
Let me see. I need to double check what shove entails. 1 second. Shove. The target must succeed on a strength or dexterity. It chooses which. Saving throw. I need to figure out what that number is supposed to be.
Go ahead and roll, Keld.
Uh-oh.
What did you roll on the dice, buddy?
A 2.
A 2? What do you add to your strengths, buddy?
Saving or
Saving.
A saving throw.
I add a 5.
Okay, you are
Alright.
pushed back 5 feet.
Yeah.
Keld, you dig your heels into the ground. Okay.
Not as
Alrighty.
strong.
Okay. Alright. Anyone else got a plan?
Odin is going to move into the space, and he is going to stand on the opposite side of the Wax Roshan to Roshan. I'm honestly not sure what to do about this. So he'll place a hand down on the runes, and he is going to start trying to dismantle your ritual. He's like, well, I'm not going to pull the sword out of his hand. That's actually maybe helping me right now. So he's going to roll an Arcana check. His name is Odin. He rolls with advantage.
Did Kill not help?
Roshan, you see that the ritual is starting to dismantle.
Uncool, bro.
I'm
I
taking
wish
care
to
of Killed.
live, and I won't be a butterfly in a jar. I'm sorry. And like you watch as the runes begin to snap almost like bones moving across this like ritual circle. That's going to be his turn. It is now the keeper's turn, and is in a bit of predicament because you guys are so close to Odin. He is going to sort of move through the space and is going to attempt to like strike down to put like his staff between between Odin and the ritual. Okay. It is a loud crash as this staff now stands between Odin and the ritual space. Roshan, you're up. Fen, you're on deck. Roshan, you see that your timeline is getting smaller by the second, and maybe aggressive moves need be made with a lot of attacks given to me if you want things to progress rapidly.
Attacks? What do you mean by attacks?
At minimum, spell slots.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Also at
I
minimum,
think,
maybe hit points. But you know, give me stuff. Give me stuff. Tell me what you want to do.
well, I don't have a whole lot of hit points, but I do have a plan.
Ooh.
I think Roshan is going to cross in between the wax effigy and Keld, making sure that Keld sees him. And at that second, he's going to cast Major Image. And the when he crosses in front of the wax figure, he disappears into this major image, and the wax figure suddenly becomes Roshan. And this wax Roshan, even though the wax is stationary and unmoving, this illusion over it speaks and says, "It's okay, Keld." And Roshan, I think, is going to put the wax figure in between him and Keld, and go about pouring magic in to keep this ritual afloat.
What are you willing to give me to put this at its apex? That if this sword stabs into your vessel, that it will complete the ritual. What are you willing to give me besides spell slots? What is there to give?
Oh gosh, opening up his inventory.
I don't want items.
Look inward.
I've already taken your best item.
Oh no.
Give me something that hurts.
This is
Even
hag
if it's
talk.
just something esoteric or like just all vibes, but like I want something. It could also give you until like Keld strikes and it actually hits it, but would you like
can
that?
you give me that long?
I can give you that long.
Great.
To everybody else, this also looks like Roshan just stepped in front of Keld and is like, "It's me." Like,
Oh, no.
so that's what it looks like to everybody. Fen, you are up. Nix, you're on deck, and then Keld.
So I've got a ready
Nix
to
has to be
action.
like,
Can I interpret Odin trying to dismember the ritual as a threat? Can I use the action from last turn that I had ready?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it seemed very specific to like being like a threat is what I'm gonna hold it to.
Okay.
Like he starts attacking people, and he did not do that.
Okay.
So it is just your turn now.
Do I see Odin doing this? Do I see him tampering in some way?
You can see that he is interacting with the ritual in some way. Yes.
Okay. Gonna go ahead and do a stupid thing, and I'm gonna take a couple of shots.
Hell yeah, brother.
Fucking Odin, the All-Father, with
Hell
a bow.
yeah. It's just a
So I
shadow.
started blasting.
Yeah, so I started blasting.
The shadow.
29 and a 24 to hit.
Both of those will hit.
Cool. I have Zephyr Strike up. So sorry, bear with me.
Keld, you can also start thinking of the calculations. We're using your highest level spell slots your next turn.
Oh boy.
Uh, 57 points of damage across the two shots.
Okay.
And bonus action, I guess, attempt to hide. With my wood elf abilities, I can hide in lightly obscured areas. So maybe some of the glimmer and shadows. And
I've literally said you guys could like move shit around. You can find somewhere to hide.
All right, cool. Fen will attempt to hide with his bonus action.
Okay. And number, please. Stealth.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking for Roshan's number for.
No.
Yeah. 14 plus 15 is a 29.
Okay. Beep, bop, beep, 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 beep. Okay, that's Fen's turn. Nix, you're up.
I would love to use this place to get me over there this time. Now, if Keld can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, you get over there. It seems actually kind of hard, but you're like, okay, I'm here now.
And is there any chance she could try to see real Roshan versus effigy Roshan?
I believe it's an intelligence roll of some sort.
Amazing. Is it a saving throw? Is it straight intelligence?
It is so much text. Yes, it's actually investigation.
Amazing.
Versus...
All right, -1. Got it.
So that's a DC 18.
And I think it's an action to do so.
Is it?
Did I make that up?
Yes. You didn't make it up. It is an action.
That's crazy that I would have to use a whole action just to look. Never mind.
If you roll some crazy number, I will let you have it. If you roll a low enough number where it's like, that does not appease me, it's like this never happened.
Great. Okay. I mean, with the -1, you know?
You know what I want.
We want a
I want
20.
a, I want a 19 or a 20. I'm feeling nice. I'll take either
Okay.
of those.
No. Oh, alas.
Things are moving too quick for you
More
to
like a
make like an
1.
assessment.
More like a 1. So a 0.
Yeah, so this is all just instinct. So
Yeah.
Would he break his promise after just saying that he wasn't going to break his promise?
So my question, I feel like I have to follow through on what she would have done. Does this fake Roshan look as injured as real Roshan does?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
fidelity between the two.
Great. So that means I would be using a heal on fake Roshan.
okay, what level spell is that?
6. So I'll take my 60-10 of damage, please.
Okie dokie.
Fake Roshan looks so much healthier, guys.
It's weird how he doesn't look any better. It's crazy.
He should be healthier. What's wrong with him?
Maybe you were right, Nix, and he's gonna kill himself.
You gotta
I
eat
told
better.
you
and
want to
he's
get
gonna
better
kill
after
himself.
Gotta eat better and exercise and lay off the booze. Come on, man. You gotta be healthier.
He just gave me
Please.
70 hit points, Roshan. What is this?
Y'all, 48. Take it.
No!
I'll never roll as high again.
Oh my
Hold
god!
on, what did you roll?
It was like 10s and 7s.
Yeah, what was the dice? Was it
It was 6d10.
okay? All right. I thought it was 5d10. I was like, you rolled
That's
4 fucking tens.
No, but I still rolled crazy numbers. But
Yeah, still, that's
Yeah, no
fucking
kidding.
insane.
Hot shit. Wow.
Nix, I think you can tell your spell doesn't like hit anything.
This is crazy.
She's like, I hate it here. This place actually sucks.
This is almost as bad as the other library.
Anything else, Nix?
Oh, she don't have bonus actions.
At
I
this
know.
library,
We've
at
just
least
learned
this library
libraries
has
suck.
smut. This library has smut, though.
Yeah.
Roll
The
me
other one's for
investigation.
chumps.
Me?
Yes, use.
12.
Okay. I wanted a 19 or a 20.
Woo! All right, good. He's
Hell,
convinced, same
you
as everyone.
Square up. And is your highest level spell slot a 4th or a 5th?
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make your first attack.
All right. All right. 28.
Almost certainly.
Hell yeah, it's almost like
you
hitting
will
into a
watch-
wax block.
As this sword stabs clean through Roshan. And if you would burn your spell slot for me, Keld.
Yeah.
And
Which may be fortuitous to you, Roshan, that this magic is now also in play. But what
Magic.
happens?
I think the illusory Roshan looks like he just got ran through with a sword. A little traumatic.
Eat.
And I have come up with something to give you. And it hurts Roshan because this is one of his most prized possessions, but I think in an attempt to keep this ritual afloat, he has brought out his book of magical secrets, the Ave's journal, and he's opened to the page that contains this ritual, and he is replenishing the runes as they were destroyed, and either the and here's where you can decide, Jillian, what you want. Either the book is run through when Keld stabs, or the amount of magic that Roshan is channeling through the book destroys it.
Okay. The sword stabs into Roshan. and magic flares in the space. You watch as the runes begin to align the floor, and in some places are blinding. Urshan, what do you think the magic looks like of this ritual?
The so I think when he first stabbed um uh the effigy, um plasma like lightning arced off of the blade and into the ritual sigils in the floor. And as it was being pulled away, um, I think there was a thread connecting them, a thread that Roshan didn't want to let die, um, and so it being stabbed through again. I think it releases plasma bright enough to blind anyone in the vicinity, but arcs like lightning off of the blade and into the ritual circles in the floor.
You watch as the book in your hands, the pages begin to tear out and burn at the seams, filling in slots as quickly as they are being destroyed of the ritual circles. As they are struck with this like plasma like lightning and get imbued with the energy of this spell. Um, it is blinding light, and you can see Odin looking at you through the major image and through the light as if they are not there. I'm sorry. He will fail you. And you watch as like Odin like begins to like be consumed by the light, and like he disappears from view. The energy begins to slowly fade in the space. Keld, your sword on the your sword on the hand, your hand on the sword. Um, you feel it, like your hand keeps like closing in around it, and you feel it turn to dust in your grip, turning into nothing. Its grip on you now gone. Um, the ash sort of leaks through your fingers, and the major image was fully destroyed by this magical outburst. So you can see what remains of this waxen Roshan and the Roshan standing behind it. Odin is gone, and Roshan, there is power oozing from these runes and moving in towards you. The remaining bits of what Dane's life has to give. Can you tell me what it looks like?
Yeah. So I think in
And if you had a
the
different image, please
no, no,
override
that
me.
works. The the floor was slowly replaced by the black glass that was in his ritual room where his ritual was originally set. And um, looking deep in it, you can see all of these runes flare to life, sucking up all of the energy out of the sword. And then uh, the flash and everything is gone, and the runes stay lit for a few seconds before that energy flows to a pool around Roshan's feet and then up into his body. And for the first few seconds, he looks maybe unsure that anything worked. Um, but then as the light disappears, it's like uh, Roshan looks worried for a second and then doubles over in pain before throwing his arms out, his eyes and mouth glowing with that same brightness into a scream of light, um, that flashes again until it also fades away.
I will take you out of initiative when Roshan eventually is able to like come to his senses. Um, all of you can see the keeper, um, now a more manageable size, but still consumed in this cloak, holding this staff. And you see that it is a struggle between being this entity, this creeping doubt that he has become, or being the keeper. You see he is actively fighting to be one or the other. This was a skill challenge of persuasions. I needed 5 successes before 2 failures. We are at 4 successes and 1 failure. Roshan, is there something you say or do to compel the keeper to overcome creeping doubt?
I think as he settles after that traumatic event,
Mm-hmm.
his eyes look for only one thing, and that is the keeper. And I don't think he says anything. I think he reaches out a hand, much like when he was a young child, and Ave found him hiding during their game of hide and seek. And uh, a tentative but pained smile.
Okay.
Can Nana support him?
Can
I
Roshan
think
bardic inspiration himself?
he cannot. I am going to say that this is Roshan on Roshan's own unless he has a way to bolster himself.
He sure doesn't.
Cool. Give me a persuasion roll, please.
Gosh. 14, so a 30.
You watch as gold ichor weeps from the eyes of the skeletal face and like moves down, starting to coat like the cloak as you watch as the hand struggles to like it's holding onto the staff and it seems almost scared to let it go, using it as support, and looks down at your hand reaching up. And I think the struggle stops for a moment. And a hand of flesh comes down and grips yours. And the keeper's face looks upon you. Changed, remnants of creeping doubt still there, but something more like a memory in his face than a physical manifestation. And he takes your hand and pulls you close and holds on to you. You can feel the space beginning to like mold and change, almost as if it's dripping. You watch the library begin to bend inwards and at strange angles. Let's go. And the space disappears, and all of you land inside of the throne room, where you had encountered Erja. All of the magic items that you had just like scatter to the floor really aggressively, and like Rex like lands and does like a little tumble and then like kind of lands on his feet. The blanket that
I landed right on my ass!
and the blanket that you guys had put over the mirror just sort of like woof, 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 and like flops to the ground, and you can see Erja sitting on his throne, sort of like slumped in on it, just like fully like almost melted into the space, sort of like turns his head and looks over at you and quirks an eyebrow. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight. And thank you all for being here. If you want to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram. If you want to keep up with all of us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. If you want dice that wanted to see a beautiful outcome today, you can go to the link in the chat or the box below to get some pretty dice. And if you want to see how we got here, you can head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult and watch past episodes of On the Backs of Gods and other campaigns and games and such. One of those being Gossamer Vale, a Celtic mythology inspired D&D campaign run by Katie. We are currently infiltrating a bandit camp, and I think maybe we're doing an okay job, but we have 2 days to do said okay job before the violence begins. So you can join us every other Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch to watch us hopefully beat some bandits and deal with that problem. We go live every other Thursday. Lucky for you, this Thursday is the one. So you can join us this week and see what shenanigans we are able to get up to. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. We love telling you a story, especially where the characters level up this session. And we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.
Love you, folks.